Preparing live stream. I guess we're live.
I guess so.
All right. Hello, everybody in streaming land. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you live as we do every week. On time, every time. We're the Podguyz Podcast. I'm Tony Cass.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the Mandalorian, the humanitarian, the valedictorian. Maybe.
I think that also rhymes.
Yeah, sure it did. Le Picasso, Le Sparky.
And Sparky writes on the big board, hello, but what he should be writing on the big board is hello and happy Christopher Columbus Day. It is Columbus Day here, my favorite holiday, because we very rarely ever get to celebrate such a day where somebody said not one boat, not two boats, but three boats. And they said, where are you going with these boats, Columbus? He says, well, probably salt and pepper. And that's exactly what what we were told in school was the whole idea was he was going over for rare salts and peppers. And instead he was like, hey, I kind of botched it on the salt and peppers. So I got people. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Tony, some people are calling it Indigenous People Day, and that just adds insult to injury right there. Because
it really does.
It really, it
throws the proverbial salt on the wound.
That's like me calling the Fifth Amendment Enron amendment. Like it just doesn't. Like the R. Kelly amendment of amendments. I plead the fifth. We are to remember Columbus as the man who discovered land that people were already on, and
land that was already pre-discovered.
It also was already pre-discovered as well. The name Christopher Columbus is it's Latinized. Okay, he is actually Christopher Colombo, and largely self-educated. Columbus was knowledgeable in geography, astronomy, and history. He developed a plan to seek a western sea passage to the Indies and hoping to enslave many people along the way. And he did it. He totally did it, Tony.
He did something. He the lore that goes behind it is that he was doing Spice Passage, and he said that, hey, I can.
That's what they called it back then. They called it Spice Package.
Spice Passage.
I know a guy that used to run back and forth from Mexico to Texas with some flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a flour guy. He was a bread delivery truck guy.
That's awesome. Yeah. And what had happened was that he had said that the Spice Passage was going to take him, according to flat earthers, or just making sure that no one could actually see that land had befall that long distance, of course, of water. That
Wait a second,
going to land
Tony,
on the opposite side of China.
Are you saying that people that were anti-Columbus were flat earthers?
That's what I'm saying.
That's one win for the flat earthers. Also,
yeah.
Win for the flat earthers. On that.
Because in that point in time, he had said, "Oh, I'm going to get the Spice Passage over to China if I happen to go all the way across the water." Now, seeing that how that is not a flat earther construct and that it is more of a round earther construct, of course, he would go straight to the other side in China and then make passage because pepper was super big in China.
Yeah, the Chinese love pepper today. They do have a peppered steak.
Pepper chicken.
Chinese. Yeah, pepper chicken.
Pork.
They've been peppering up things for a long time.
They've been peppering pretty well.
The Chinese have also been transporting people for a long time as well. So they're in the human transport business along with Columbus. People have been trafficked for years. Just last week, we learned that Kamala Harris lost a mere 85,000 children out of 1 million people that crossed the border. Now, that's not a bad clip. All right. That's
only 8.5%.
I heard under Trump it was 90,000. So that's a slight improvement if I've ever seen one. that's change I can rub my fucking elbows on. And Sparky's got something on the big board there. Or you better get on the boat. Or what? Ask Aiden. My leg?
Explain your work, Sparky.
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
Well, there's Columbus holding the big stick, telling the people to get on the boat.
Gotcha.
And well, he told him he was going to pull an Aiden on everybody.
An Aiden?
What is pulling an Aiden?
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson, yeah, the middle linebacker, defensive end for the Detroit Lions, Michigan alumni, former first-round draft pick Aiden Hutchinson.
Low blow, Sparky, low blow.
Aiden Hutchinson out for the year. The Cowboys got blown out on Jerry Jones's 82nd birthday. So either heart attacks don't exist or Jerry Jones does not give a fuck if they lose.
It was also Jimmy Johnson's birthday also.
It was.
They share a birthday.
Him and Jerry Jones share a birthday.
Wow. Talk about, that makes Jerry Jones even more the egomaniac, where he was probably just like, now what's your birthday? You got the job. Something I like about you. Me. It's
not to say that we're going to be a little sports heavy today, but let's talk about that blowout, because it's all over social media news, of course, that Jerry Jones was quite livid on his birthday about that blowout, and even before the first half, in that they took quite the shellacking, of course, in that particular bout.
They got killed, Tony. Yeah. Tony, they got killed. First of all, the Mike McCarthy's days are numbered there. This is a fireable offense. Dak Prescott, they're going to blow the whole thing up. You have to blow the whole thing up right now. Either that or Jerry Jones just likes running his professional football team like a college football team. We draft them, we keep them. We draft them, we keep them. And for anyone else who might have talent other places, Dalvin Cook, we'll bring them along just to sell some jerseys and save people like Zeke Elliott for fan nights and stuff like that. The Dallas Cowboys right now are not in it to win the Super Bowl. I don't give a shit how hard they say they're all in. Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, these guys have got to be a little irritated on defense because they still have their whole careers ahead of themselves. But honestly, the Dallas Cowboys are out of the contention to win the Super Bowl right now. The Lions are kind of in there. Losing Aiden Hutchinson doesn't help at all. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm not going to count them out. Their defense is kind of speculative in some areas. They do
they're putting up points like there is no tomorrow, though.
Baker Mayfield is rejuvenated in Tampa Bay's system. I think he's got 3 great targets to throw to and 2 good running backs with a good offensive line, and that's normally just what it takes. So the Eagles look like they're in disarray. They almost lost to like the worst team in the NFL, the Browns right now, or the second worst team, however you want to put the Panthers in the upward trend or the downward trend. But the Eagles look like they are just wanting Nick Sirianni to not be there anymore. The Pittsburgh Steelers are looking like they can make the playoffs, lose the first round. This is what they do.
I was just going to say that 100%.
This is just, like I'm not trying to analyze every team here. The Vikings are looking hot as long as they keep Sam Darnold around. Once Sam Darnold goes to shit, so will the Vikings. That's why I'm predicting a 500 season, because Sam Darnold comes on super hot. He's like that. He's like if you would imagine Sam Darnold as a husband, he'd be the perfect husband for the first year, and then he'd be a piece of shit for the second year. And you're like, how did we get this piece of shit? And then he gets his second marriage, and you're like, you see, he's fine again. And then bam, turns to shit again. And then he sits on the bench in San Francisco, because we all know what happens in San Francisco, Tony. Anyways, he goes over to Minnesota. They put a ring on his finger, and he's looking good again. There are rumors out there that he can get $50 million. By the way, you did not hear anything like this when Lamar Jackson was wanting some money. They were like, well, he does get hurt because he runs. It's like, dude, the only time the guy's gotten hurt was in the pockets. I digress just a little bit. Jordan Love looks like He's suddenly not injured anymore. And Kyler Murray looks like he's got the Call of Duty curse going on again because Call of Duty blackouts came out again and the guy's starting to fuck up. He's just throwing interception after interception, hanging out with his best friend the ground, checking his cell phone to see if he can, play the game a little bit longer. He's not 100% committed to football. Sparky, turn that big board around there, man. So I take that.
So on the board, he says, "Hey, P. Diddy, do not know the Cowboys are in your spank parties." And then P. Diddy says, "I got the oil. Do not have to be gentle. We have a bye week."
Oh Lord, yeah. So the Giants lost to the Bengals because the Giants are running that Daniel Jones idea into the ground as if it's not a bad idea. For all the viewers or listeners out there, if you have a bad idea and it has proven to be a bad idea.
Now, this is no offense to Giants fans whatsoever, because you know what? There are, and not to say out of any sports organization that should have diehard fans, right? Whether it be the Dallas Cowboys, whether it be the Washington Commanders, whether it be the Las Vegas Raiders, any of those particular teams do have diehard fans. But when you're a Giants fan, you're used to disappointment.
Well, you're also used to beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So that was quite some time ago. I think what the Giants are going to do is they're going to go towards an old formula, and they're going to wait for one of the Mannings to come out of college and see if they can draft him immediately. I don't know how. Now, I've seen Archie Manning play. He looks like a serviceable backup to Ewings, the starting quarterback currently for the Texas Longhorns. But I don't. And that just feels like what the Giants are going to do. If Dan Marino, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Dolphins fan, all right? If Dan Marino had a kid or a cousin named Marino, dude, we got no Sean Marino as a running back one year just because it fucking sounded like Dan Marino. Anything close to sniffing what success used to be like for old type of traditional franchises such as the Giants, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the normal run-of-the-mill fuckers. The Cowboys are just going to do their Dak Prescott. The Cowboys' Dak Prescott is the Giants' Daniel Jones. It's the problem right now, and it's the problem, but you've given the problem so much money that now you have no solution. The Cleveland Browns have a $1 million backup on the bench because you can't have anybody else on the bench making more money than Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson takes up 70% of their fucking cap.
Crazy cap space. Crazy.
Guaranteed money just to get out there and play below average football. He looks like he didn't read the playbook because I bet you he didn't read the playbook. He's strictly relying on his athleticism and his improv abilities, and it's impressive enough if you're able to pull off some of these plays. And just as much as people have defended Sam Darnold, I'll defend Deshaun Watson, okay? First of all, he was accused by a bunch of massage therapists that certainly did look like strippers, and I'm throwing it out there because when it looks like one, it smells like one, it's probably a stripper in one of those rub and tug joints. You do it. If you're a real massage therapist, your nails are not like Nicki Minaj length, okay? It's not the thing. It's not normal to do. They have interviewed these same massage therapists before on the news, and I'm like, dude, that's a stripper. They're like, a massage therapist, So
the only thing they're massaging is in the back room.
He got he gave a big middle finger, to the NFL by saying, I'll play for the Browns. And everybody's like, really? The Browns? Why would you want that? He's like, because I'm going to be a quarter of a billionaire, that's why.
Now, have you seen the show that's on Prime right now called The Undercovers?
I have not, no.
All right. So there's a show on Prime. I'm going to go into it after this picture though, because I think this is going to kind of lead into something a little bit different, but Sparky, turn that thing around. Let's see what you got.
Something's going to be in common with this board, and you tell me what it is.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Go down that list.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is going to be in contact with this whole situation. So QB contracts, Prescott $240 million, Watson $230 million, Herbert 218 million. Lawrence, 200 million. Jackson, 185. Hurts, 179. Goff, 170. And Tua, 167. Most of them hurt or non-productive.
Oh, keep that board up there, Sparky. Keep the board up. Lamar Jackson's the only person that deserves money.
There you
End
go.
of story. I'm serious. He should be at the top of that list. Without Lamar Jackson on the Ravens right now, they don't have an identity.
They'd be toast.
Lamar Jackson is such a good quarterback. He beat Joe Flacco for the starting role, who, by the way, is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers.
And having an amazing season right now.
Still having a great season.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco doesn't come into your franchise demanding all the money and his friends to get jobs and everything else like that. He is a low drama. I'll sit on the bench. Oh, somebody got injured? I guess I'll just have to throw touchdowns and get you in the playoffs. Whoopsie daisy. The only place Joe Flacco really didn't work out were two broken franchises as of right now. And they're still broken. The Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. Those are the two places Joe Flacco just didn't seem to fit in. Because who would they have? They had Vance Joseph as their head coach, and then they wanted, Joe Flacco got injured. He had a shoulder injury happen to him. Then he went over to the Jets. They signed him up. Oh, I'm sorry, he was also a Philadelphia Eagle there for a hot second. I'm sorry, Eagles fans, but just like most talented people, the Philadelphia organization ran him out of town. They said, "Get out of here, you talented son of a bitch."
Well, no. He was the backup in Philly for a year.
That's all right. You could still, if you're the backup, that's a good spot to have a Joe Flacco for a break glass in case of emergency situation. I love Joe Flacco as a quarterback. I think he is still very talented, a silent leader, and he has the ability to win you Super Bowls the same way other quarterbacks do. He just doesn't have that marketing, in-home name to himself, like a Brady or a Peyton Manning, or I'll even throw in a Drew Brees as like a generic version of something. But yeah, more Super Bowls than Drew Brees, by the way.
Sure.
And Aaron Rodgers. I'm just throwing it out there,
So I'm bringing up this story only because, not necessarily a story, but there's an Prime series called The Undercovers. And it actually takes Baker Mayfield and Eli Manning undercover to like press events, undercover at college recruiting, and like they're just throwing the football around to regular people, and they get dressed up as alternate people with prosthetics and facial hair and weird wigs and whatever and may be with that whole situation. And like, to take for instance, Eli Manning went to the Penn State tryouts, and he threw as a person who was doing whatever.
I want to see one of these. I want to see one of these pro quarterbacks go in and just not impress anybody.
Yeah, that would be great. And of all people, not to say Eli Manning is probably the one who would either do really well or really bad, and then get outshone by somebody else.
Eli actually did. He did very well, and he had that funky mustache thing going on.
Yeah, he had everything going on. He was I forget the name that he used, but he was like, "Oh, here, check out these skills," and boom, 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 like he was tossing a cannon in there, and he was on top of his weedy rotation. Pretty well.
Yeah, there are certain mechanics that don't go away. Now your legs are going to get a little bit slower, your arm strength, if you continue to work it out. That's why Cam Newton has all these workout routines whenever he's like, ain't no way there's 32 quarterbacks better.
He's an impeccable off-season athlete.
Cam Newton is one of those physical athletic specimens that come around once in a long time, like once every 25 years.
He's very much like that, not to say on the same level as Tyreek Hill or Derrick Henry. All of those particular guys work on a crazy routine throughout the offseason. To throw that in there, Baker Mayfield had went to a press release where he was dressed up as a regular guy that came in with about, I want to say 40 or 50 people, and he was like, "Oh man, my knee, And then they said, oh, if somebody can pass, 30 yards or 40 yards or whatever it is, everybody in the audience gets, who came would get like free stuff. So of course he's out there and he's like chucking the ball down. And of course, like 50, 60 yards. And everybody's like, oh my God, he's so good. Oh my God. Like, yeah, go.
I think what happens with Cam Newton, though, is what happens to a lot of athletes. He doesn't love the game as much. He's good at the game. He's already outstanding at football, but he's gotten so used to being outstanding at football that to prep on an everyday Tom Brady fucking crazy basis, right? To prep like that. Yeah. I could see Cam Newton smoking a cigar during a press conference. What are you smoking for? You're too old to smoke. You want to pop in a Joe Burrow cigar during college? Okay, cool. Awesome. You're older in your career. You got sunglasses on, you got a hat, you got Versace, you're dressed loud, you got a cigar in your mouth. I know where you're going. You're going out, you're going to the club, you're going to the strip club, you're going somewhere else. Football is his priority because it gets him to be a celebrity still at these certain clubs.
Yeah.
You get at these certain clubs, you get your ego stroked. You get massage therapists coming around, so to speak. But you are still in that area of being Cam Newton then. And if you're winning, it's good. If you're losing, who cares? You've already went to the Super Bowl. You know that these certain teams that are signing you are in desperation mode. They are not in let's win a Super Bowl mode. They're in let's sell some fucking tickets. Maybe Bill Belichick thought that he could win a Super Bowl with Cam Newton. And he might be right. Cam Newton 5 years ago, he could have won a Super Bowl with. Cam Newton's relied a lot on good wide receiver play as well. Steve Smith, great wide receiver for him. DJ Moore, rookie year, he still had Cam Newton rolling in there. Kelvin Benjamin was serviceable to the point where they got to a Super Bowl and then, their bodies went to crap. But it takes so much discipline to get to where you're at. Cam Newton's dad wanted $400,000 from Auburn, or he said his kid doesn't play there. Yeah. And then when Urban Meyer heard about it, he said, Urban Meyer's like, no, our offer still stands at $250,000. He can play for Auburn if he likes them. And he did. And he, won a national championship. Like, okay. That's proving everybody wrong. Then goes number 1 overall. Takes Jimmy Clausen's job from Carolina, takes Carolina Panthers to a place that they haven't been since the Jake Delhomme days of the Super Bowl. The guy's had a career. He's got a great resume, but all of that resume doesn't tell you where your future of your franchise is going right now. You don't have many teams out there even sniffing the Super Bowl besides the Chiefs, the Ravens, not the Bengals anymore. They don't have a defense. Their defense is nobody playing out there. They have 0 people out there playing. I'm not even going to say the Eagles. That whole division is shot. The Commanders are fun to watch, but that defense is gone. They're the Commanders and the Bengals. I can't tell the difference between either one of them right now. Tony, your take.
It's quite the mess, to be honest. And not to say I think ever since... not to say not to go on an off topic, but with the Robert Saleh firing from the Jets, I think that not necessarily that everything has went downhill in the NFL, but a lot more things are getting noticed, a lot more things are getting realized, and not to say that these professional players that are playing more than the coaching staff and the owners themselves of the particular teams. And this drives all the way across the NFL. It's crazy how much pull one particular player makes.
So I gotta I'll throw something in there real quick because I get where you're coming from 100%. But here's what Robert Saleh said he needed to win. Okay.
Of course.
He said he needed Aaron Rodgers to win, right? And Aaron Rodgers, he said, I need Aaron Rodgers to not just be here, but I need Aaron Rodgers to have whatever he needs and 100%. Whatever he doesn't need to win here.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers said, I'll take Nathaniel Hackett to be the offensive coordinator. All right. Big eye roll. All right. Get him. What else do you need? And he brings over Jesus. I mean, there's a list of fucking people here, dude.
The coaching staff is crazy, which all got fired when he left.
He brings in who did he bring in? Wide receivers, like Alan Lazard. And Alan Lazard's serviceable. He wanted Mike Williams, got Mike Williams. He wanted Dalvin Cook last year. He got Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook left because Aaron Rodgers got injured. Everybody Aaron Rodgers wanted to be there and who, Aaron Rodgers didn't want to be there was there. And then it came down to what Aaron Rodgers didn't want there. And I'm not buying that he didn't go up to ownership or general management and say, this Robert Saleh guy tried to hug me. I'm not into this huggy bullshit. He's more of a college coach. He's like a developmental coach. I'm a Super Bowl champion. I'm an adult in the room. Can we just get anybody to hold the pad? Kind of like what Tom Brady did with after he butted heads with Bruce Arians. He was just like, give Todd Bowles the fucking pad. I don't need to hear Bruce Arians, telling me how he wants to run an offense. Yeah. Send him to the front office sort of thing. And now we are purely speculating. We don't know if that's exactly what went on. But honestly, dude, it seems very suspicious if it didn't go on. No one's ever done that to a No one's ever done that to a Steelers head coach. Steelers just never fire their head coaches at all. No one's ever done that to a Harbaugh except for the general manager Lynch at the time. It's just it's kind of tricky is what I'm trying to say. It's kind of, you got Aaron Rodgers right now has to deliver the New York Jets a Super Bowl, or he has been a bust for his career as a Jet. Agree or disagree? It's Super Bowl or nothing at this point. It is. Yeah. We gave you everything you said you needed. If you get all of what you say you possibly need and you still fail to achieve the ultimate achievement, then obviously you know even less than we know of how to win a Super Bowl.
You're right.
I think they're going to bring in Mike McCarthy.
There is a rumor going around right now. Carolina Panthers QB record since Cam Newton 2020, Bridgewater 4-11, PJ Walker 1-0, 2021 Darnold 4-7, Walker 1-0, Newton returns 0-5, 2022 Darnold 4-2, Mayfield 1-5, and I can't read the bottom. Sparky.
Walker
and
PJ Walker again.
What does that say?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. You had it too close to the screen, so I couldn't say.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. But the only reason why I bring that up is just because, not to switch a little bit in the news era, but LeBron is actually making the news lately. And you may be thinking to yourself, oh God, another LeBron story, especially with all the P. Diddy stuff coming out. Not actually P. Diddy related, believe it or not. Go figure. First time for this week. And LeBron,
kill that story. Listen, we apologize a little bit for killing the story, but when there's too much there to ignore. All right, I get it. Everyone's heard it on every news network around.
Oh yeah,
but dude's got 742 dildos, and we're not going to drag that for a couple weeks, man. It's going to drag, especially with Costco, Sam's Club filled with lube. Those Costco people, of course, they shop at Costco. Chunk, double chunk, chunk. Oh, fuck.
It's cheap and it's for poor people.
Yeah, like
who doesn't want 2 tubs of peanut butter?
But I guess what Tony's referring to is what is that? Magic Johnson won on Jimmy Kimmel. I didn't see it. You did, Tony. What happened?
So there's a story about Magic Johnson going on Jimmy Kimmel, of course, and talking about LeBron and Bronny, of course, being teammates on the same team, and Bronny getting a little bit of nepotism. Who would have thought that? And of course, a guaranteed contract to play on the Lakers. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
So I'm just leaning a little bit. Bronny James has not been the same player after taking a heart attack. Okay. So he took he was He's number one ranked player in the whole entire nation of kids between the age of 14 to 17. Okay, number one ranked, and so much to the point that when he got to
USC.
USC athletic scholarship and all that nice stuff, right? And before starting game one for USC, he takes a heart attack. And it's a tough thing for an athlete to recover from. And instead of taking the year off, and you're going to see a theme here, Tony. Instead of taking a year off, here's the theme. Instead of Bronny James taking a year off, I'm guessing he was pushed to play anyways, because you got sold out tickets. You got a lot of pressure. You got to get in there and play, run back and forth if you need be.
Crazy.
So he gets in there, he plays, he averages like 3 points a game. It's nothing. Rodman's kid was also playing on the same team. Dennis Rodman's kid. It was a very hyped up team. You don't bet on them if you know anything about college basketball, though, because it's just a hyped up USC team. This has happened many times. Sometimes you can catch some fire with the team with some hype, but not this particular team. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because an NBA player needs development. And development, he'll get under the tutelage of his father. Scottie Pippen Jr. also was drafted by the Lakers, who Phil Jackson used to date the owner. So.
And Sparky, who was the number one pick from the Lakers this year?
Kennech.
Kennech.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Yeah, and he's barely been getting any playing time as well. But
yeah, right now the Lakers have themselves in. They're not going to be able to contend for a title. You have Anthony Davis, who has they won one championship. I think they're fine with that idea. You got LeBron James. He's older and slower now. You got Anthony Davis. He's always injury prone, constantly injury prone. You're going to get 60 games out of 82, if not less, from the guy. Austin Reeves, who seems to be a nice 3-point sharp shooting kind of guy, can handle the ball. D'Angelo Russell is still there, and then Rui Hachimura from Japan, who is not not the best. They just picked him up as a defensive wing from the Washington Wizards about a year ago. Add Bronny James into the mix, and you have a lot of coaches there to help him out. I don't know how much ceiling he has, but we'll see what happens. I get the nepotism argument where you took a job away from somebody else, but
and I think that's the major qualm going into it. As far as the Lakers and their official X account. Now, Magic Johnson, who is he's an owner, correct, of the Lakers, or a partial owner, I should say.
Jeannie Buss is the owner of the Lakers.
But he's got something to do with it.
Got out of the Lakers.
Did he?
He got out of the
I
Lakers.
swear he has some sort of stock or some sort of options as far as ownership.
He got out of the Lakers, but he got out of the Lakers to get involved with the Dodgers.
Yeah, he got in with the Dodgers.
I think so.
He's with a group of people that bought the Washington Commanders as well.
Okay.
But he is an ambassador.
As a former Laker, though, he says, "I love seeing the historical moments happening in the purple and gold, especially between father and son." So you know what? That's a big plus to Bronny and LeBron, of course, playing together as they have had this season. So what's been going on as well is that Bronny, the 55th overall pick for this year's NBA draft, is grateful for his opportunity amid the nepotism criticisms that he received. And he said, "This is a crazy feeling. Just looking at my dad taking pictures, and I was like, oh, what's going on right now?" And he was a very proud papa, taking pictures of him and his son. We're playing on the same team with each other. Now, just kind of take it all in, extremely grateful for the opportunity. At what point do you, not necessarily even like an Anthony Davis or a Nakamura or somebody who's trying to vie for a championship ring of their very own and trying to make the team a little bit better at a better level, and then you see shit like that's going on where he's getting an over amount of adequate playing time, but still seeing 0 points. Actually, I think he's -9 for his first 4 games as far as average goes. For time
yeah.
versus
That's that on-court efficiency, Tony. That -9.
is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah.
So there's no real player we can compare him with because he was listed at the height of 6'3". Then when they actually measured him, he was 6'1".
Yeah.
That's you got an inch on me. Athletically, yeah, he could probably run back and forth if he's in 100% health and really works himself into the shape. Honestly, he should have already been into the shape to begin with. You're not going to tell LeBron James if you're the owner of the Lakers and the GM. Yeah. You're not going to say, "Hey, we're not drafting your kid." I think that it's you see, fathers in athletics get kind of knocked around. Look at, for example, LaMelo Ball and his father, LeVar Ball. He wanted to make his own Ball brand basketball shoes. He was very supportive of his kids, and LaMelo Ball.
Now, aren't there figuratively like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 father-son hierarchies that have been in the NBA from top to bottom?
You have Del Curry supporting both his kids, Steph Curry and Seth Curry. Which, they're obviously one career's worked out more than the other, but they're still very good basketball players. You have the Ball Boys. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. LiAngelo is nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
but you can't have all your kids play in the NBA. But it's the now obviously LeVar, if he was better than Michael Jordan, like remember all that shit he was talking when he's first started?
Yeah.
He was going off worse than Skip Bayless ever did. But anyways, so if he was that good, he'd be playing on the same court with his son, like LeBron James actually is right now. So I think that if you have enough confidence in somebody, barring if they were talented at one point, a tragedy of a heart attack happened at another point, and once his full recovery does happen eventually, I think he'll be one of those superstar players that we wondered why we doubted him. That could be a scenario. Or
no, I don't think that he'll actually ever get to that point. I feel like there's been a lot of undue stress that has been popped on him, even from his college days, because even in USC, he only averaged 12 to 14 points a game. Now, even with that particular repertoire under his belt, I don't think he was ever ready for the NBA, let alone even to a G League team for the Lakers. Now, not to say that Magic Johnson even agrees, but on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he actually said, I think that he should go over into the G League, develop his game, and that he should tell his dad that in order to not necessarily make sure that his safety is concerned for the Lakers.
He'd be talking to a wall at that point, honestly. I think that LeBron James looks at Bronny James like he looks at himself, sort of thing. I think he looks at him and he says, "Oh, that's me." And he's really talented. And no matter how bad he does, no matter how many turnovers he has in a game, he's still going to stick up for his kid because he's got that blind love for his kid, which is just going to get in the way of the Lakers winning all around. And, LeBron James.
No, he's just not at that competitive level, of course.
His now Bronny James's season stats for USC, I'll bring them up right now. They're right here in front of me. 4.8 points a game. 4.8 points a game, 36.6% field goal percentage, 26% from 3-point land, 2.8 rebounds a game, 2.1 assists a game, less than a steal a game, 0.2 blocks a game. This is not a first-round draft pick if you did a blind taste test on anybody.
I wouldn't even say a 4th round.
It's just, dude, it's not worth it. Is he worth the bet? Is he worth it?
Now, you could have gotten any other, not to say any other player at the 50th pick, but you could have gotten at least 30 other players that would have been detrimental to your team to win.
But Tony, it's a mystery box, though. It's a mystery box you know a little bit about. You're like, hey, who's his dad? LeBron James.
And and it's all about the money, the money ticket. Of course.
Keep your eye on him, because if you're the team that had LeBron James. Now, Tony, here's a scenario for you, all right? Say you're the team. You're the Lakers, Tony, okay? You have LeBron James on your team, okay? And he tells you, pick my son because he's going to be amazing. And you say, the hell with you, right? I'm picking who I want to pick. And you do. Now, here's a scenario for you. LeBron James' kid has a tough 1 year. He's got a tough second year. But then in his third year, he breaks out crazy. He breaks out. He looks better than LeBron James. And you were the GM that passed on him. I'd rather be the GM that takes him saying, hey, he was LeBron James's kid. Why not? It was, we had to pick somebody.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just that who's pissed on the Lakers right now, as far as Anthony Davis or, whoever might be on the team as far as starting fives, and are just like, oh man, you know what? I don't feel like, I feel like they could have picked somebody better in order to make a better team. And not necessarily that he's not,
they can't
down the line, he could be more developmental.
Sparky, you know as much as I do. All right. You can't win an NBA championship immediately by drafting one player in the draft throughout year one. You just can't do it. You have
who's the only not to say Doncic or like one of the European guys.
Not by just like, if you had the last team to win the NBA championship, the Boston Celtics,
Antetokounmpo or whatever.
Antetokounmpo, yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo, yeah.
There's a good example.
The Celtics took years to building that team, though, through draft picks and everything.
And the Milwaukee Bucks took a little bit of time too. They added some players. They made more than just one draft move. So I think.
Don't be surprised if Oklahoma City wins the championship within a couple of years with all those draft picks that they got over the years.
Dude, they are rolling in draft picks right now, but they have to be very surgical on how they use them, not just on drafting, but as far as trading those draft picks. Yeah, you trade those draft picks for leverage, and then other teams can use it because you can only be so young on a team.
Like what the Knicks just did there a couple weeks ago. With the Knicks, trading a couple draft picks and a couple players. They got rid of Broken Randall and brought in Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Randall completely broken. I think that he's still his defense has always been suspect.
Well, no, I'm talking about as Charles Barkley would call Anthony Davis sometimes, street clothes. That was his nickname because he's always in street clothes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's accurate too. Karl Anthony Towns Karl Anthony Towns. He's not a pure center. He's a stretch five, if anything. He wants to shoot 3-pointers. He wants to play power forward or small forward. And you're like, dude, we need you to play center. And I think the only what they're going to do? They're going to end up they'll force Josh Hart to play center. Because why not, right?
But the thing about it is, though, Karl Anthony Towns could end up being on the court a lot more than what Randall was.
No, that is true.
The best ability is availability. If you could stay healthy and be on the court, it's more productive than being in street clothes.
Yeah, it's true. And the NBA season hasn't started enough yet. And Tony's fantasy football team is getting killed every week.
Every week, man. It's an embarrassment.
Not only that, you keep dropping.
So what unicorn tattoo, Tony? Since you're going to finish last.
Well, I don't know if you'll finish last.
Yeah, I won't finish last, but I won't finish. I won't finish good either. It's just downright embarrassing.
This
But
is how it goes. Tony
anyway.
drops a player, and then somebody picks them up, and they fucking become an inherent part of everybody's team.
Yeah.
I got Cole Kmet now, and I didn't want Cole Kmet, and I'm like, I guess I'll pick him up because I really need a tight end because Mark Andrews was acting like a guard. And
yeah. But in all honesty, like even for my fantasy team, like everybody that I picked, every single superstar, single digits, like boom, 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 you know? And the only people that like did specifically well was Trey McBride, and I was super proud of that particular tight end pick. And I was like, oh man, Trey McBride, yeah, man, this guy's he's gonna making moves. And he was doing well for Jesus until he got hurt. That was game 3. Game 3 when he got hurt, and he went into concussion protocol. And then he was out for game 4. And he made 8 points, 18 points, and 5 points. Of course, in game 3.
Greg Zuerlein is such a fixer quarterback. You don't miss 4 kicks in a row when you're playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Jets are like, hey, why don't you want this kicker? And then Jerry Jones is just like only responds like, just take him. Just take him for nothing. We don't even, we'll just give him to you. Give us your fucking, what is that? A printer? Yeah, give us your old 1990s Tandy printer. We'll give you Greg Zuerlein.
Well, and anyways, Kevin, Greg Zuerlein, he bounced his second field goal off the upright just a couple minutes ago.
Of course he did, because this is what
of course.
It's Monday night. Normally, home teams do win on Monday night. Unfortunately, I just don't see the Jets. I don't see it happening with the Jets against the Bills. The Bills are acting like a team that has a chance to make the playoffs and go somewhere in the playoffs. And the Jets are acting like a team that does nothing but cater to Aaron Rodgers at his every women cry. Aaron, who's going to get fired this week if you don't win? Who gets fired now? He's treating the fucking team like an episode of Survivor, Tony.
Oh, yeah. Greg Zuerlein actually made his 22-yard field goal in the third quarter.
So. Holy shit! Everybody, Greg Zuerlein, professional NFL kicker, made a 22-yard.
But then he missed one.
He missed 2, Tony. He bounced.
Oh, he missed 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah. One off the left, one off the right.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
God.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg Zuerlein. Douchebag.
So he made 1, missed 2.
Whatever. Anyways, you want to get into our big juicy story for the week?
There is one story I want to touch on just for a
I'm ready.
Is it this story?
The movie Nanaco 2024, Same World Productions is looks like it's finally here. So check it
Very
out.
Exciting.
Nanaco 2024. It looks like a very, very well-produced zombie flick. If anyone wants to put anything in the comments about Nanaco, comment on the Podguyz Podcast on the Facebook fan page. Also, while you're at the Facebook fan page and while you're online, go to the podguyzpodcast.com. Buy a t-shirt, buy a mug, buy some of Sparky's artwork. The guy is a starving artist. I know he looks like he eats well, but if it wasn't for his mom's, meatballs, he'd be wearing away.
I love Mom. She's the best.
Best she is.
And to pick of all places, the meth Northeast Pennsylvania's meth capital, Nanaco. Marky, flip that board around. What do you got?
Is this the story of the week?
My new company called P. Diddles. Here, ma'am, this is the special vibrating bottle.
Now with and without lubrication.
Did Beyonce and Jay-Z already break up or something? Is that like a secret?
So there's a rumor, and it is a rumor. It's not confirmed yet. Because I need to throw that out there because you never know who's listening out in the big world of Facebook.
We know Kanye West is actively listening to this podcast. We also know Pete Davidson is also actively, including with the Paul brothers, Logan
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, buddy. We know they're listening. There's no way there's no way of what they talk about, of what we talk about, could be strictly coincidental.
100%. So there is rumors that, of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce are on the outs. And there is also rumor that, now this is not confirmed, this is not denied, it is just out there, that moving vans were shown to the house after the P. Diddy indictment. And by the way, on CNN.com, if you happen to go to that particular story, Sean P. Diddy Combs accused of sexual harassment in 6 new lawsuits coming out this particular week, including one case involving alleged teenage victim. Now, the suits were filed anonymously by John Doe and Jane Doe plaintiffs in federal court in the Southern District of New York. The lawsuits range in allegations that in some instances include rape, sexual assault, and a drugging of drinks. Now, there were videos that were shown this particular week as well of CEO, oh my God, I forget his name. He's a CEO of a company that came and partied at a P. Diddy white party, and you see him face down in the crack of the couch, passed right out.
It's kind of weird that P. Diddy's sexual assault charges are kind of like the Titanic, women and children, then some guys after that.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's 100%.
And you know that it's going to go down in tragedy the same way as the Titanic did.
Sadly.
No, not sadly. I mean, this is a long time coming.
Yeah. No, I don't mean like sadly as like, oh, you finally got caught. No, the dude.
Tony got an invite to a P. Diddy party, and he's like, "This is the worst timing ever."
Never ever. So, at least 2 of the alleged assaults took place at Combs' white party between 1998 and 2006. All 6 plaintiffs are seeking compensatory and punitive damages for those particular waves of litigation. Now, Houston-based attorney Tony Busby and co-counsel Andrew Van Arsdale, who previously said they were representing at least 120 alleged victims of Combs, including minors. 120.
That's a lot.
Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts, their legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process. Combs' attorneys told CNN in a statement in court the truth will prevail, that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. End quote.
I guess dogs are still up there then, right?
It was all and now he says that he never forced anyone to make love to him or have him make love to them. Therefore, it was consensual sexual advances and all on particular tape.
Yeah, so this is so I'll paint the picture. Diddy says they all wanted a piece of Diddy. And 122 people are going to say, no, we didn't. You drugged us, you psychopath. By the way, PETA still gets to keep their protest out. P. Diddy did it to dogs. Doggy style.
Now Combs is currently in federal custody as he awaits trial because he did not get bail.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. If like he's a millionaire, if there was like 60% suspicion that he might be guilty, they would still give him bail.
Oh yeah,
until such time. Just because
he's sectioned off. He's sectioned off in prison, and he's in like private lockup. But Combs is currently in federal custody as he awaits trial for his indictment in the Southern District of New York on counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. And prior to Monday, Combs was already facing multiple civil lawsuits, accusing him of in a range of sexual misconduct and other illegal activity. He has previously denied all of those allegations as well. Which is crazy because everybody who has come forward, hundreds of people have come forward and said, this particular white party, I got roofied. And things happened to my butt.
What the allegations actually are even going further into is when people are about to sign a contract and they drugged them the night before, they raped them, they put it on video, and they say, I'm not signing this contract. And they say, well, you don't sign the contract. How about we show them the tape? And then they show them the tape. They don't want that getting out to their friends in the hood and that, like you don't want to be known as the guy that got, that is now gay in that.
Now there is officially a buying process for these particular tapes, and they have been shopped out of course, like pre-litigation.
Yeah.
So what happened is that many of these people who were A-list clients or people that came to the parties didn't want those particular videos shopped, and they paid millions for those particular videos.
They did. Yeah. Yeah. And it's videos, pictures, all sorts of stuff. And you can get away with that for as long as you think you can get away with it for, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. Eventually somebody's going to find a way to get you back. And this is the way that they're getting P. Diddy back, whoever the leak was. And no lube.
No lube needed.
No lube, pun intended.
Luba.
Sparky might have a lube button, though. Flip it around, Spark. Holy shit, the rails are slippery. Look at
God damn, Leo.
Sorry, no.
Now, there was alleged rumors once again that Leonardo DiCaprio has gone missing over in Europe ever since these allegations had come out as well, and that he is now in hiding in the European whatever, like beaches and wherever the heck he is on his yacht, hanging out with his 21-year-old girlfriend, just hanging out, banging, going crazy, spending money.
That's what Leo does, though. He's been doing that for a long time.
Of course, 100%.
In Leo DiCaprio's head, he's still 27 years old.
Oh, yeah, easily.
So when they're like, Leo, how do you feel you're dating a 22-year-old? And he's like, and?
Yeah, and he's like, I got plenty of time for that.
How old am I? They're like, you're 60. I was like, get the fuck out. I'm not 60. He's like, if I'm 60, that makes Robert De Niro 80.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But there's a couple main players in this whole Diddy situation, such as Jaguar Wright. Now, I don't know if you've seen her particular videos as well.
I was watching them a little bit. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
She's throwing a lot of smoke Diddy's way.
It's getting very tough. Not just for Diddy himself, but for people that can be counted as accomplices to rape.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it's Jay-Z, but the blueprint's there. Many
like the play on words right there.
Many blueprints. Right now, Jay-Z has 99 problems. Actually, what's the count up to? 121? 121 problems.
Might be right about there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he knew about all of them, being a close friend with Diddy, and but he does know a good majority. And I feel like he is going to implicate himself into that whole situation. But I feel like he's going to buy his way out as well.
I think he'll plea his way out. There's a bigger fish out there than Diddy. And
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
I think it has to do with the relationship that he's had with Motown Records executives, and that's also going to come streaming through. Right now, it's just been it's been a tough thing for people to really wrap their heads around, as if it's a bad thing. You're like, oh, wait a second. So, the average person out there, they're not millionaires. They're not invited to these cool parties. They're not made to feel important in any way possible. So they're like, what's the big deal? Diddy's having sex with people, like, and there is a big deal, because he's not only just doing that against their will, he's holding it against them as a blackmail tool, so that way they sign with him and enrich him even more. And it's just a sad thing to see there, Tony.
It is
with
what it is.
A ton of hilarious headlines to it.
Oh yeah. Epic material for weeks, to be honest.
Jesus Lord.
But that's all we got for the show tonight.
Yes, Tony, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure yet.
You have no idea.
I might be Sparky for Halloween.
What are your kids going to be for Halloween? Oof, this is tough.
Yeah,
Tony, what's your wife's first name?
I don't know. I don't know. All good questions, Kevin.
Really.
That is the end of our show. Of course, you can catch us every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. We are the Podguyz Podcast. Sparky, where can you find us?
You can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoReel, Facebook Live Video, Google, YouTube, merchbooth.com, or you could go to our own website at thepodguyzpodcast.com to buy nice merchandise, because Kevin has a family to feed now, so you got to make sure they eat also.
That's true. Big shout out to Kevo and his child to be.
Yeah. I'm not going to name the kid Sparky, though. I have news.
You have morals.
We're not going to do that to the kid.
Sparky was never Sparky, by the way.
He was never Sparky. What was he before?
Oh, he was another name.
God.
He was the dark name. Anyways, we are the Podguyz Podcast. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso, Les Barquet. Guys, tune in next week. We have some great guests coming in. We'll catch you later. Have a great night. Bye.